It states that Batman has mastered 127 or all martial arts and can easily pick up martial arts that he has never seen very quickly. Some of the styles that he uses include Muay Thai, MMA, Eskrima, Krav Maga, Capoeira, Savate, Yawan, Taekwondo, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Ninjutsu, Kendo, Fencing, Kenjutsu, Kali, Bojutsu, Wrestling, Fran Combat, Boxing, Kickboxing, Hapkido, Sambo, Wing Chun, Sorin-ryu, Silat, Chinna, Kyoto, Aikido, Rama Ati, Jeet-Kune-Do, Shaolin Kung Fu, Baoguao, Hungar, Tai Chi, Kung Fu, Kempo, and Karate. Now, while most of these are unarmed martial arts, he's very skilled with weaponry as well, as you can see from his use of the Batarang, which is like a throwing knife combined with a boomerang. However, it is impossible to learn a martial art to its mastery, and especially not 127 or all of them. Most martial arts, like Kung Fu, usually never have a full master because they're always learning despite their age. So what he did was not master each of these martial arts, but instead took techniques and principles from each of these styles and incorporated it into his own MMA style that would be useful in attacking a large group of enemies or a larger, stronger enemy, like for instance Killer Croc or Bane. So if you want to have Batman's martial arts skills to a certain degree in real life, you want to start off with 4, but really 2 martial arts. And the 4 mixed martial arts that I recommend are boxing, Muay Thai / kickboxing, wrestling, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But I said only 2 is because not every gym may offer all 4 classes at the same time, but maybe only 2 like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and kickboxing / Muay Thai. In which case what you want to do is to learn those 2 martial arts and incorporate techniques from the others into it to make your style better. I chose these 4 martial arts because they are a staple in making a great fighter in the UFC and Bellator and other mixed martial arts organizations. Boxing is a type of martial art that focuses primarily on the fists, with attacks like the jab, straight, hooks, uppercuts, and the occasional clinching for resting and tiring at the other opponent. Muay Thai and kickboxing are an advancement from boxing as it allows kicking as well, giving a fighter more options than with just boxing. Muay Thai also has elbows and knees, which is why it's called the art of the 8 limbs, allowing for more deadly attacks at close range. Wrestling is mainly a more aggressive sport that focuses on pinning the opponent on the back to win or getting points. Because of its explosive nature and scrambling on the ground to gain the upper hand, it lets a fighter become comfortable with pressure when you're being smothered by another person, and how to overcome that using strength and technique. These characteristics and more is the reason why a lot of fighters have a foundation as wrestlers. And Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu complements your wrestling abilities by helping you finish opponents on the ground and be comfortable in weird positions like on your back, which is not a favorable position in wrestling. Once you have a good basis on these 4 or 2 styles, depending on how you go with it, you want to start incorporating techniques from other styles as well. Example of this is Tony Ferguson using Wing Chun in his martial arts style to fight against powerful opponents. I also saw another MMA fighter use a spinning back fist following up against a missed kick to the head, knocking out the opponent as he came close for a takedown. So you want to incorporate techniques basically that actually do work in certain scenarios and use them as a kind of a surprise. Once you have a decent amount of techniques that complement your base styles, what you want to start focusing on is techniques that are illegal to use in a sanctioned match, like hits to the eyes, the throat, the genitals, the back of the head, etc. And the reason to train this is because most fighters have been conditioned to avoid these areas because they would get ejected out of a fight or disqualified because it's illegal to hit. But practicing this on a dummy, like a Bob dummy with its characteristics of a human body, can help you build muscle memory so that it's more natural for you to hit and you don't have to think about it. And movements like putting your thumbs in somebody's eyes is not something that's normally trained in a sparring match. The next level up is to learn armed martial arts. And I think you should start with a stick fighting martial art, mainly because that's the most easiest to use in real life, because you can use like a metal pipe or a PVC pipe or just a broken branch of a tree, and you can use that to attack them and use them instead of, like a bow staff or a Eskrima sticks. And the second reason being that while you could kill someone with a stick if you hit them hard enough, but you can also incapacitate them and keep them relatively safe. Put something like a sword or a machete. You can obviously kill them even if you don't intend to because of the sharp edge. It causes bleeding or loss of limbs, which is extremely dangerous. Now, saying that, it is still useful to learn sword fighting after stick fighting because it can still be an effective weapon in self-defense, of course, against an imminent threat. And after that, you can start specializing in more niche martial arts styles, like maybe the bow or the nunchucks if you so desire. I also want to talk about Krav Maga and other styles that use the same principle of taking what's useful and throwing away what's not, because I don't know how legit they are because I've never tried any of them out. They seem kind of legit, but I think it's kind of like CrossFit, which is you don't know what you're getting until you tested it out. So I recommend you have a good understanding of martial arts first and see what's effective and what's not from different gyms, and then try out that Krav Maga place. And if it's still legit for you, then keep going. But if it's not, quit. Last thing is that you cannot learn martial arts from the internet or a book. You can learn techniques and styles for sure, but you can't learn the pressure, the fear, the anxiety from facing another opponent for the first time or even the 5th time or 30th time, because that's a different feeling that you can only experience with another opponent. So in conclusion, this seems like a lot of information and a lot of styles that you have to learn, and it really is, which is why you have to take it over a course of a couple of years, like maybe 10, 15, to get a nice understanding of all the things you want to learn.